places I've ever been in my life. And to be here talking to you all about the state of the Word. So the idea behind the state of the Word is kind of to take a step back from the day-to-day, because WordPress is a very active project. There's things happening constantly, and if you follow the blogs like Rails or Candy or WordPress Tool Collection, there's 20 or 30 blogs out there posting 1 to 5 entries per day, and there's a ton of stuff going on. But this is to take a step back and take a 10,000 foot view of where we are, where WordPress is, and where we're going. So it's actually weird that it's behind me. I'll have to look up. So the state of the Word is strong. It's the joke we like to make, the presidential joke. What have we been doing? So there's a couple of stats that we track in terms of metrics that we both target internally to WordPress and that we graph out and keep track of. One of them is user suggestions, because this is really what drives the core of WordPress. Every good feature idea inside of WordPress either came from a plugin or from one of you guys. None of it came from me. And this number has gone up a little bit. The commits is actually a better barometer of activity in WordPress. So a commit is basically when a developer makes a change to the code and pushes it to the live code repository. That more than doubled. So the activity of WordPress has gone up quite a bit, which has manifested itself in that we've had 13 releases in the past year, of which, I'm sorry. Who's tired of upgrading their WordPress blog? Raise your hand. Yeah. Quick survey. Who here is on WordPress.org, where you download and install it yourself? All right. And who here is on WordPress.com, which is the hosted version? Okay, so
and a whole bunch of people just started theirs today.
Nice. It looks like about 80-20 towards WordPress.org, which is a pretty good mix. I'm going to be talking mostly about WordPress.org, but some of these things will cross everything. We added 3 new developers to the project, which is another reason why it's starting to pick up. These people are Mark Jaquith, Peter Westwood, and Andrew Austin. We should give a round of applause. So Mark is in Florida, Peter's in England, someplace that I can't pronounce. It's like spelled like Heister, but it's pronounced Leicester. I don't know. And then Andrew Oz is in Vancouver. So before, we're now at a historical high for a number of WordPress, what we call core developers, which is people who can make changes directly to the code. At its lowest, it's been 1, and at its highest, it's been 4 or 5, which is where we are now. Other core developers being Ryan and myself. But since I've been doing a lot more traveling, a lot more sort of this, it's very good that we've added these new folks, because otherwise WordPress would be slowing down the time. Downloads are a pretty interesting number. So this went from about 2.8 million past year to 11 this year. So this has gone way, way up. And we're doing about 16,000 a day now. So it's actually picked up quite a bit. On WordPress.com, which is about the 20% of you that raised your hands here, we actually have better numbers, because since we host all the blogs ourselves, we can look at exactly what's happening, which is kind of fun. Of course, with the .org blogs, it's impossible to know how many pages we're getting with that. On .com, we added about 2.3. I guess we should update this number like another 20 today. And they're doing a lot of new posts. It's averaging now about 250,000 a day and about 40 million words per day. It's a figure with WordPress. We need to track how many of these we're squeezing down. That's the equivalent to about 2.5 English Wikipedias per month now, being created every single month. And this is just WordPress.com, which is a small slice of the blogosphere. Page views are going really well, to 6.5 billion in the past year. But actually, and this is the first time I'm talking about this, we just passed the 1 billion mark on a per month basis. So now we're double where this was. So we're now doing 1 billion a month in terms of pages, reaching roughly, depending on how you count it, between cookies is like the number of people, so about 200 million unique people in the world. So this is kind of neat. That means that a non-trivial portion of the online world, a double-digit percentage, is visiting the WordPress.com hosted blog every single month, which is kind of incredible when you think about it. Now, how about spam? The numbers I just said might seem big until you look at spammers are still trucking along. 5 billion spams. This number is also going up far quicker than everything else I just showed you. Luckily, Kismet has been able to stay adapted to it. We're at a 99.925% accuracy. And this is good news, because historically, my prediction was that web spams, which comes in your comments or in your contact forms or any place like that, would mirror pretty closely what happened with email spam. But if we look at the timeline of where we are sort of in the email spam evolution, web spam evolution, we're actually doing a much better job fighting it than the email guy. Email filters commonly have, 95 to 99% accuracy. So being above 99% is a big, big deal. And actually that last bit, that point 0.025, going between that, every single, hundredth of a percent is really, really, really hard. Because spammers are very clever. And they're probably fooling some of you here. So have any of you ever gotten a comment on one of your blog posts that said, that's brilliant. Fantastic blog post. This was the best thing I've read all day. Well, if it's not from your mom, it's probably a spammer. I've started getting them now where they're really legitimate comments and they have gravatars and everything. And you visit the URL and it's a spam site. So what you have to do, and it's a little bit dangerous, but you really have to visit the URL of everyone who comments on your blog. And this is good for a couple of reasons. One, it's good because you get to know sort of your blogging community better. But two, it helps you keep any possible spam off. Because one thing that we've noted, behavior-wise, once you have spam on your blog, you get a lot more. They target, what they do is they search for posts that have existing spam on them, and they just hit those really hard. In fact, I have a couple of posts on my blog where spam actually accidentally got through, but I leave it up because since those posts get way more spam, they're like 4 years old, it's like a honeypot for spammers. But hey, you have to be careful and definitely keep an eye on them. What they're starting to do is they're actually starting to extract parts of the post out. So if you wrote a post titled "My Cheese Sandwich," they say, "Oh, I loved your thoughts on my cheese sandwich." And the other thing they're doing, I actually came across this a couple days ago. It's this guy, one of our designers actually, Matt Thomas, who designed a lot of things I'm going to show you later. I was like, "Hey Matt, I found," he's the other Matt, we call him MT. They said, I've been getting these weird comments. His blog doesn't get a ton of comments. And he showed them to me. And they were all like first name, last name, written by, with a Gmail account and a blog URL. You visit the blog, there's no spam, no links, anything on it. Just a perfectly normal blog that looked fine. You could Google the comment and the contents of the blog. And it was all completely legit. It was not duplicate content, it wasn't scraped or anything. But the odd thing that he pointed out was all these comments, all these blogs were linking to each other. There was like a dozen people who had left a comment. And number two, it was all coming from Amazon EC2 IP addresses, which real people never did. So what we found was this whole sort of, and then started looking in Kismet for it, there's this whole ring of about 1,000 to 1,500 unique identities these people had created. I guess they're just paying someone to write actually pretty good blog posts and other things, and pretty good comments. It'd be like, "I agree with you, Obama should be," they're completely contextual and pretty insightful. So definitely keep an eye out for those sorts of things. WordCamps have been pretty interesting. They've been going on all around the world. There's been about 22 so far this year. There's 6 upcoming, not including this. And I've been to a lot of these. There's a little map here. That's you guys right over there. Actually, we had to add the dots because in the original version of this map, without the dots, you couldn't see the line. No one there. We got to put them on the map. This is just a smattering. Actually, next week I'm going to be going to Brazil, Argentina, and Chile. There's going to be WordCamps and all those. So it's coming along really nicely. And the cool thing about it is that the way the WordCamps are organized very much reflect the culture of where they are. So, got some pictures. This is the one in San Francisco. You can tell because you have lowcats. I think there's some lowcats people here, right? Yeah. You got a big stage, kind of like this. It's pretty fancy. You can also tell this is San Francisco by the number of Macintoshes. Actually, that's another survey question I like to ask. How many people are using an iPhone here? That's great. Hold your hands up just so I can kind of
How many bought them in the last week during Geek Week? A lot of people I'm hearing they went and bought them.
Yeah, so that's like a majority of the audience. For example, when I was in China, and I asked how many iPhones are there, like one person raised their hand. So me. This is the one in South Africa. It's like in this small restaurant. Serve a projector that people would stand in front of half the talk. This was actually China. I was very impressed because they had better signage than we did in San Francisco. They got like a hookup on signs or something. It was really impressive. But like I said, at the entire, there were probably 300 people at this one. There was one WordPress.com user, because WordPress.com is blocked there. There was one iPhone user, and it's the same person. I don't know what that means. And this is actually my favorite one. Now this picture, there's a lot going on here, so I'm going to describe it for you. This was in